great chat.
Hello.
Good evening. Welcome to Design Source Live.
Thank you, Sarah. How are you?
I'm very good. I'm very good indeed. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this for Design Source. I think it's fair to say that we are all a little bit obsessed with your account.
Thank you so much. Well, thank you for asking me and having me. I'm delighted. I'm excited to get chatting all things vintage, secondhand, and I suppose, yeah, interiors, everything.
Absolutely. Well, as you probably are aware, this is an area, and the reason that, I was chosen as the host of this one is that obviously it's very much a passion for me as well. So, secondhand and vintage and, charity shop finds, all of those things that, literally make my heart go a little bit of flutter. So I absolutely jumped at the chance to chat to you. But I mean, I'm sure that we will have an army of people who know you and are familiar with your account. But for everybody who doesn't know your background outside of Potter and Byrne, tell us a little bit about you and how on earth you came to decide to do this.
Yeah, I set up my account 3 years, nearly 4 years ago. It's actually started out as, okay, we bought a house, we want to make it ours, and we just DIY'd everything. It was COVID times. There wasn't much around, but we always loved DIYing. And then when it got to the interiors part, it kind of just organically happened where I started to just share, oh, I found this piece here and this little piece here. And then people started to ask, where are you finding that? And then it kind of just a brainwave happened where I just kind of said, why don't I bring you with me? There's people that want to see this. I was finding new places from other people, and I kind of went, wow, there's so much more in Ireland that we can find and shop with these independent shops that I just kind of went, I'm learning as I'm showing also. You
Yeah.
know, I'm
Yeah.
finding places that I'm going, how did I not find this before? It's
Yes.
just really, yeah. So it's just been really fun, and it's just something I genuinely love. Like yourself, I just adore giving something a second life and another chance. And it was just really organic. It just happened. It was a brainwave, but it happened through the conversations with people online. And I just love it. I love finding new places. I love showing places and sharing places that I've been to before. So it makes my heart dance, to go
Yeah.
into these places, and you never know, like everywhere is so different and you never know what you're going to find. Like you can go in with the best intentions of a list and you're like, oh, I need that. That's coming home with me.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And I think, you go into a lot of these places, and I mean, I do think that a lot of these sort of vintage and antique and salvage, sort of salvage places, stack them high type environments, that's either going to be for you or not for you. So, but you take us on lots of different places. So it will be everything from a salvage, to a charity
Yeah.
warehouse, to a small independent, tiny little antique shop where things will feel a little bit more curated, perhaps. So, I mean, you're showing us, everything in between. So I would imagine that if you're somebody who finds, max salvage quite overwhelming, because it can be if you're not
Yeah.
that inclined.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
There's something out there for kind of everybody. But I mean, obviously, so from going to from showing your home and your processes and everything else to suddenly going around the country and filming yourself, discovering these hidden gems. Was that an organic process? Was it, you did one and everybody loved it, so you did another? I mean, how did you end up sort of basically now trawling the country, and presumably in your spare time, because you
Yeah.
presumably have another day job?
Yeah. No, it's all a hobby. It's completely spare time. I'll go on my weekends. Um, it started off, I kind of showed a place or two and people loved it. And I kind of thought, there are these smaller independent businesses and the online world can just be crazy, and hard for some places to set up. Some places are flying with them. And I
Yeah.
just said, you know what, I'll just reach out and see if a few places want to, wouldn't mind me popping in and recording. And I suppose I asked first.
Yeah, very good.
And,
Yeah.
and with no plan, no
Yeah.
plan whatsoever. I remember I was driving up to Roxy up in Kildare in Narramore, and she was like the first kind of what my series is now become. And I had no plan. I just kind of ride. And then My sister, my twin sister, actually said, "Why don't you say Potter Round? You know, it brings in your page name." And I kind of went, "Okay," and then it just grew from there. And yeah, I don't know. It just honestly, it just happened because I do just love it. I love sharing places, and I spend my weekends doing this, anyway. Um, and like you said, like I could go to a flea market or a market on a Sunday or a Saturday and share that, and some people would love that, and some people hate it, and then they have a more curated shop. I'm just thinking like there's Castle Lynch in Kilkenny, which is fantastic. I love going. It's where I find all my quirky brass pieces.
Mm.
And then you have like the likes of Joy Torp that's more curated and
Yes. Yeah.
beautiful pieces. Like just walking in there is just wow. And I think
Mm.
you have such a mix in Ireland for
Mm.
people who either love the salvage and the digging around, or those that like to see it presented and perfect and what could be in your home.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just to show that there is that variety, I suppose, available to people, no matter what your taste, your style, and what way you like to shop.
That's it. So there's something for everybody out there, as you say. Are you a trawl the car boot sales type, or do you prefer, as you say, to see it in an environment where you can go, oh, I can imagine what that's going to look like if I put
Yeah,
it in my
yeah,
in my home. And you and I were sort of talking about how more and more and more we're seeing the interiors industry here starting to come around and embrace this
yeah,
idea that if you're the oldest thing in your home, that's not great. So you need to have some new things and some old things, and find a way that they come together in a way that feels considered and doesn't feel like you've just shopped next catalogue to furnish
yeah,
your home. And I think that's the thing. You compare a new new dining chairs with a really cool vintage dining table. We were talking about it, weren't
yeah,
we? That, Dee Coleman did that the other day on Home Rescue. She had a beautiful banquette seat built, but she got a secondhand table, which just looked really cool and considered into the space.
yeah,
So I think, the zeitgeist has somewhat changed where, it used to be that, old was considered secondhand and second best. But I think we've come a full circle where now everybody is craving these, sort of pieces with character and soul and something with a bit of rust on it if we're lucky.
yeah, yeah. A little bit of patina never hurt. That's what I always say.
Yeah,
I remember
exactly.
we were talking about little pieces like behind me here, and you were showing me yours, and it was like it's okay that it's not perfect, but I think there is a change in people that they're kind of seeing like, yeah, it's okay to mix IKEA with something older. People want their homes to now feel like their home and a reflection of them. So I think that's what you don't need it to be this perfect home that's just there to show. Like it's to live in, and you can use these pieces, and they have been used. Uh,
Mm.
and they have a long life and still have a long life ahead of them. And when you're finished using them, someone else can still use them. And it's not something that's just, I suppose, really fast produced, and it's just going to be, throwaway afterwards. These pieces can last. So I think in 2026, life is just so expensive at times that you can actually buy things that are affordable, or if they are that little bit more, they're going to last and you can pass them on. It's just
Yeah.
not waste. There's no more waste with this kind of mindset, and I think it's great people are really jumping into it
Yeah.
and really going for it, and even if you're new to it, like just stepping your toes in is perfect. Just go around and have a look, see what you like. I always say to people, take a picture. If you walk in and feel overwhelmed, just take a few photos, leave, and if you still like them, that's your kind of style. Now, the sad part about that is they'd probably be gone if you leave it too long when you go back.
Yes.
But at
Yeah.
least you have an idea of what you like, and more often than not, you'll find different versions of what it is.
Yeah.
But you do have to, if you find something you love, I still haven't learned this. I say this, but I haven't learned. If you find something you love, just pick it up and grab it.
I can go with it.
I
Yeah,
am
I mean,
learning
we've all had buyer's regret where we've seen something,
Mhm.
we've walked away because we're just not sure. Is it right? I don't know. Don't have my measuring tape on me. Is it big enough? Is it small enough? So on and so forth. And then you go back for it because you've decided, yeah, that was the one, and then it's gone. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
there's we've all done that. We've
we
all
have.
we've all walked away from things. So tell me about. I mean, obviously, as you say, you've gone from everything from the flea market end right the way down to sort of the beautiful and curated. So what I mean. can you say which side of that fence you prefer, or is it just that it's different?
I do love a good dig around, and you have to find. I am a hunter gatherer. I know that's so silly to say, but I love to have to really go digging in and to find the piece, and it may be dusty and everything else, and I bring it home and you clean it up and you're just like, yes, I'm so glad I found that.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate the curated places as well, because you see something and you're like, oh, that is, I need that. So I do love both, but I probably like the dig and the hunt more.
Yeah. And was this in the blood, Aoife? Because I mean, obviously, is this something that you're the quirk in the family? Nobody knows where you got this obsession with buying secondhand stuff from, or was this always in your blood, do you think?
I would think it's always in my blood. Like my mum and dad had independent businesses, and I think I have a love for kind of the pub memorabilia side of things, and that's where I love my stoneware so much, because that's what was in my mum and dad's pub. And like as a kid, I was saying this to you before, from 7 years of age, my TV show wasn't like, I did watch cartoons, of course, I was a child, but my TV show was a treat on a Tuesday night, stay up late with my mammy past my bedtime. She would kind of say to me, now at the ad break, half time, you're going to bed. And I would say, please, can I stay up to see the finished piece? And I just fell in love with interiors and stuff from then. And like I said, I used to go into the shop then and take the home magazines, read through them all. I used to draw up what my home would look like. And just some people love and think of their wedding day. For me, it was like, what will my home be when I'm older? And what will it look like? And how can I do this? And how can I do that? And taking inspiration from all these magazines. So I think from just that early age, I just always had a love for it, just real. And I think, my mom loves it. She loves now. She was busy with 6 kids and a business, but she said all she wanted to do if she had the free time was to go to places like this. So she's delighted that I love them, because she'll come with me. Or if I've been somewhere, she's the first one to say, stick on the kettle and let me see the videos you have, if you've put up a new video, or show me what you're about to put up. And she's like, oh, you have to bring me there. I need to go there.
And has anybody, I've just come up with this idea right now, but I'm sure, this is something you've considered and lots of people have said it to you. I mean, do you ever consider the idea that you would do these kind of like tourist trails with all of this? So maybe, like get a group of people together, right? Okay, we are doing Aoife's got her clipboard out, right? You've got 10 minutes in this place, right? Back on the coach, we're going to the next place. So, I'm picturing a Potter and Byrne antique road trip. I'm on the bus, by the way. I'm commenting just so you know. So, I mean, is this a future that, have I looked into your crystal ball? Is this in the future?
I would love if that became the reality. Absolutely. People do say it. They're like, let's go. They send me the videos and little clips and like, when are we doing the tour? The antique tour. And I say, oh, I'd love to. And I mean, being a teacher as well, having a clipboard and checking names and going on a school trip is fine. So that from that
you will be flying it.
But I mean, it's a dream. Like, if it became a reality, I know there would be loads that would be into it, and I would absolutely jump at that opportunity, because we just have so much. And like with some of my videos, I love if I'm going to one place, if there's other places around, so then I can do one like, okay, here's how I would plan my day. I have one on Wexford and on Dublin so far, where I'm like, okay, if you were to spend a day, here's somewhere that's only 11 minutes apart, and you can actually hit this place, this place, this place, and this place, and so to be able to just jump on a bus with people that all love it too. I think the worst part of that would be we would all want the same pieces, wouldn't we? I'd nearly have to go pre-scout.
Fight. Yeah.
You and I would pick the same stuff. That's why.
Yes, quite. Someone is putting a very valid point up there, that the Irish Vintage Co-op, which is the online Instagram of vintage sellers as well, if you're looking for small pieces, because I think it tends to mainly be small pieces, doesn't it, rather than furniture and stuff.
Beautiful pieces there, some plates and different things that I've just adored, and they do it on Thursdays. I think they'll correct me if I'm wrong. But they do, they've gorgeous pieces. So you can, and I have a video of online places as well, and they're included in it. And it's just, there's so much out there. If you don't or can't leave your home, especially with the weather like this, the way it's been the last week, there are other options, you know.
Yeah. And I mean, if I give you a free day, so we're playing hooky from school for the day. Where would you send somebody who, you know, loves the idea of the rummage? So we've talked about curated and the joy thoughts and all of those, but what if we love a good old fashioned rummage? Where are you sending me? Where am I going?
Oh, I have a couple in mind. So there's Patrick Ravel's in Wexford. It's good rummage, indoor and outdoor. Like that's where I got my lovely French foot bath, and I found that rummaging through. Then there's Mac's warehouse. That is just. I was only there recently for the first. How it was the first time, I have no idea.
Been either.
Yeah.
Every time I keep being in a position to kind of go, something else comes up that I actually haven't been in.
Yeah.
Likewise, obviously we were talking about the fact that my husband is a similar, loves a good rummage. So we neither, but we also know that there's an element of the reason we haven't gone is that we cannot be trusted.
That's the other side. Yeah. I know when I go at Niall, I shop differently compared to if I go with my mum. Yeah. There's no isn't the word with my mum, but with Niall, where'd you put that? And then he makes me second guess, and that's where I get.
Where would you put that? There's always a place though.
Yeah. No, actually,
place.
the last time when we were in Mac's, he was the one rummaging, and he found lovely pieces for himself. So I'm like, yes, I'm getting him into my way of thinking as well. But definitely, Patrick Ravel's is a good dig around. Mac's, I mean, Pete's Antiques. Like, I could spend the day there.
Yeah.
And that's another one where you could actually hop over to Wild Vintage Dublin.
Exactly. That's a brilliant one. But yeah, because there's two, Wild Vintage and then
and there's another one there that I was told about. I couldn't make it on the day. A lady owns it. It's a smaller place. Haven't been, but I'm like, I have to get back there.
Oh,
three.
Okay.
But
in that neighborhood as well.
Yeah, apparently so. Okay. I told correctly, and if I remember correctly, so I need to find the name. I need to find where it is. If anyone knows it, I need to get there. So there is definitely those two.
Yeah,
do it in a day, and then possibly there's a third one close around. I'm going to find that one.
And Pete's is great because there's something for everybody in Pete's, because you've got, as you say, what I call more of a, oh, that's unexpected. There's a a shop dummy. And then you've got the more curated, because you've got within Pete's, obviously you've got individual sellers who are selling, everything from, sort of mid-century to the more curated of, say, Jessie Wilkinson and so on and so forth. And, you've got everything from, mid-century to, I don't even know what that is. Like, that's intriguing. Like, what is that? Which I love. I literally can lose an entire day of my life. Nobody can understand how I can spend so long in one warehouse, but I can.
Oh, I completely relate to you. Like, if you want to leave me there with the keys for the weekend, I will be in the bottom corner where you.
And he would probably let you. He's such a chilled individual. He'd probably go, work away from there. Off you go.
Yeah, if you can just have the coffee ready in the morning.
Yeah, exactly. The coffee was
fantastic too. That was another thing. I was like, the prices are so reasonable. And that's kind of what I'm noticing going around. There are, of course, your special pieces that are going to be that little bit more expensive. But I think when you compare them to maybe other places as well, there isn't much in the difference, but I couldn't get over how affordable it has been on my travels to find beautiful pieces for your home.
Now, I haven't been to West Cork. I'm sorry to say that. I've been to Cork, but I haven't been to West Cork. So RH Vintage Interiors has said we need to come to West Cork. So I think you and me, maybe we need to hatch a plan and do a road trip to West Cork.
I have told them I have been stalking their page for so long now, and I just died there. And I went to college in Cork, so I do love Cork. I have a good graw for the place. But if I could get down to West Cork, not only is it stunning, but RH Vintage Interiors, I'm there in a heartbeat, definitely.
There's a cool flea market type one in Cork, and I'm trying to remember the name of it now, kind of at a side street. I got sent there by Kathy Angelini, one of the designers we had on Salvage Squad, she's from Cork, and she said to me, "Oh, if you come here, you need to go to this place." And I can't for the life of me remember where it was, but it's like on the main kind of off the main street in Cork, and I'm trying to think of its name. But like that, I think there are individual sellers
Oh,
within the unit.
I
I'm
wonder
trying
how
to
long
remember the
that's been there.
name.
Now, I'm a long time out of college, so it could
Oh,
be.
along,
Yeah,
and it has, it would have clothing as well. There was like there was somebody was selling vintage records. There was, you name it,
I,
it was kind of in
I
there.
need to get that's what I want to add to the list. And I wasn't even aware of that. Yeah,
Oh my gosh, and I'm racking my brains because it was cool, and because Gavin got some frames from there as well.
and it's not in
Can
the
you,
English market. It's separate to that, is it?
say the name?
The English market. That's a lot more
No, no, it
separate
wasn't.
to
It
that.
wasn't near the English market. No, it was definitely up. Mother
Other
Jones,
towns
thank
do
you
market.
so much. 59 Collective. Yeah, Mother Jones, exactly that.
Yeah,
Fantastic rummage.
I'm gonna write that down quickly.
Oh, have you not been?
No,
Oh,
no.
okay. Well, then this
Sorry.
this this Cork trip
We
is,
could
is
definitely.
growing legs.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, we definitely need to. That would be so much fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah, yeah. But it
Yeah,
was very much, it kind of slightly reminded me of a slightly more tidy Pete's, because
yeah.
Pete's is obviously, it is a very rustic,
Mhm.
um, sort of warehouse kind of
Yeah,
environment. Whereas this obviously, just felt more like a kind of a large kind of shop
mm,
unit. But yeah, Mother Jones, it was great. It was great fun.
I love all of that.
Um,
Well, that's our day planned. Our weekend, should we say? Because we won't leave,
and
one place quickly to go to another.
Totally. And
Yeah.
has somewhere that you've been really unexpected, somewhere that you didn't like, that, sort of, oh my gosh, this is totally not what I expected at all. Has anything ever like really surprised you and you didn't know what you were getting going when you went?
I think a lot of them surprised me that way, but to pick one, I suppose if you think of Julie up in Louth in the potting shed, you're stepping into her home, and she has just from top to bottom, or from top to bottom even, yes, going backwards. It's just filled with the most gorgeous pieces from. I don't even know where she sources them. There were pieces in there that I just like. My jaw did hit the floor. I just
Oh,
wasn't.
wow.
I didn't know what to expect when I arrived, and then when I arrived, I just kind of wow. From grandfather clocks to shadow pictures and frames and French pottery, and it was just yeah. I think that one surprised me. But I mean, they all have. They all, like it's I couldn't pick a favorite. It's like saying to someone, "What's your favorite child?" You
What's
know,
your favorite
they're
child?
all
Yeah.
so they're all so different, and I think that's what surprised me overall with this whole journey is how different. None of them are the same, not one.
And
Um,
I haven't been to the potting shed. That's another one that's on my list. Oh, I have so many on my list. This is like, I probably just need to maybe take 2 weeks off and just literally travel around with the camper van or something,
yeah,
and go to all these different
you
places.
might need me as your tour guide, so just make sure I,
I think that would absolutely be arranged. We just need to go in the school halls. But
yes,
yeah, no, I there's a few places that I haven't. I mean, but I'm just thinking now. Is it the old stores? Is that what the old yard? Is that what it's called? The
the
place
old
that's
the
is it
old
the old
old
yard?
the old sow yard.
Portleash
Yes,
store
sow
yard.
yard. Yes, yes,
Now that's a very cool place, but
yeah.
that's a browsing place, I would say.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's beautiful. I haven't been in a long time, but it looks. Oh, people are recommending it. They're saying it. It does.
My jaw hit the floor. That was a
Yeah,
jaw hit the floor because you go
yes,
through the entrance and you're like,
just
but
look.
it's a
Yeah,
browsing kind of place. You're
mhm,
not going to get the bargains of Pete's Antiques.
yeah, yes,
So, I think that's a place to get inspiration from
yeah.
and just to admire. I mean, I know that they do a huge amount of film sets um, and that kind of
Big, big
thing.
pieces. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
'cause
Do you know what
obviously.
another one is? Old Schoolhouse Living in Tipperary. It's in South Tip. And
Ooh.
Ailing is the woman, and it was a schoolhouse, and she completely just gave it a new lease of life. And she's a gorgeous little cafe in it with lovely homemade treats. My mom came with me that day, and we stayed there hours and hours and hours. So we were looking around and then having the chats with Ailing, and that was probably one where I just kind of went, like, it's a mix of new and old.
Yeah.
So she
Okay.
blends the two really, really well.
Yeah.
but just even just as a day out, it's lovely.
Yeah.
So it's
And
really nice.
can you ever see a time where you would, I mean, would you, I mean, obviously you go and you like things and you go and visit, but is there a frustrated antique dealer in you, do you think?
I don't know if I could part with it. I think I'd like to maybe one day, but I don't know if I'd have the strength to part ways with certain items. I think I'd become a hoarder if I was to, you know, try and tell myself or pretend to have, sell them. I just don't think I don't have it in me. I don't have the willpower and the strength for that. I don't know. And that's what I say to each owner. I'm like, how do you not have your home filled? Like my house would end up looking, God, there wouldn't be space to breathe. I'd say
Yeah.
if that's the route I went down. But it'd be fantastic. I mean, yes, but I think I'd have to learn willpower.
But at the same time, I think what would happen is you would pick pieces and you might keep pieces, but at the same time, the next amazing thing that you find will
Yes,
allow you to let the last piece go into
yeah,
it. So with about having done this a little bit, dabbled on the side because I used to sell a few little vintagey pieces along with my upcycle furniture. So I have dabbled with this on the side, and yes, it did become an extremely expensive hobby. In that, I'd go to French flea markets on holiday, buying things, thinking that I would sell them on, but going, oh, I just
yeah.
can't really,
That,
can't
that
really part with that.
that I don't know if I could ever sell it on. Like, with the best intentions, I'm just going in for a look.
Yeah,
What happens? I don't know what is the look. I don't know what that is.
yeah.
I'm there going, oh look, instead.
And what happens when you run out of places to visit here? Because that doesn't sound like you have yet. It sounds like there's still lots of places on the tick list to go through and see.
More than I even realized.
Yeah.
People have been so fantastic sharing different places, whether it's places they love or it's the owners themselves. So I definitely have a long road ahead. But it'll be more traveling for sure.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know. I honestly, I don't know. Like this, it's something I'm hoping will just organically fall into place and happen. I'm very much just going
And
along.
and antique tourism is on the rise because I know a couple of dealers over in Paris. So
Mm.
they're UK antique dealers who are now have relocated to Paris, and they are offering tourist antique trails, which I think is genius. Because imagine all because you get a lot of tourists coming over here. Imagine you offered them the opportunity to, like we've just said,
Yeah,
get
yeah,
on the bus and let's go and see some really cool
yeah.
places and
And wouldn't that be
tea
fantastic?
rooms and
Yeah, for the independent shops, even to have that extra,
exactly,
and
exactly.
be pre-organized, so there'd be planning behind it, and they'd be aware. I think that, like, that's probably where I would like to fall into. Maybe, possibly. I don't know. It seems like I don't know. It seems like a dream, but I think something that definitely Ireland could do it. Because there is a want for it. Obviously, with great tourism. I even think just people themselves that are living here would love to jump onto that and see these places and get to go into them and shop. Just imagine a weekend of that would be, you know, perfect. Yeah, I would love. Yeah, you're getting my brain going. I would love.
I know. Well, this is the thing. I'm
Yeah,
sitting here going tick tick tick.
yeah,
But I
yeah.
mean, I've seen. Yeah, I mean, I've seen this lady does it in Paris. So what she does is she picks you up. She arranges the rendezvous, and then she'll go to two or three little spots in Paris with really good flea markets that run on a Saturday. Um, so I think it's an absolutely, and I mean, obviously I appreciate we don't have the scale of antique markets and flea markets that you would if you were in France, because obviously that's a whole other different ball game. But yeah, there's a lot of thumbs up and yes, please, that would be amazing. So I think we should do this. Like, how have we just come up with a business like in the
Yes,
space of half an hour on
and have,
design
yeah,
source?
yeah.
This is fantastic.
Yeah, well, I'm not surprised after our last chat, the thoughts and the ideas that were flowing. Like, I'd jump on that. Yeah, wouldn't it be lovely during the summer for people to be able to just hop on a bus? We could go from one place to the next. It would just be fantastic and give loads of time in each place because you
Yeah.
need, so you'd have to probably like that when you were saying the ones that do it in France having two or three is realistic.
Yeah,
Like,
yes. Yeah, well you could do
that-
it you could do it by county. So, there's a County Cork one, there's a Kilkenny is great for I know there's a lot of antique dealers in and around Kilkenny and stuff. So you'd have to think carefully about where you would kind of be going to. But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I think there's a lot of people who are doing a big thumbs up. So
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
totally up
great.
for the antique culture.
We'll be in touch. So tell us what, I mean, again, I know because I get asked all the time, what, and it's like, it is like choosing your favorite child. I can't say because my children might be watching. What is your favorite thing you've ever found?
Oh, there's actually two straight away jumped into my mind. I think there is this old lamp that used to be people are going to think I'm cracked. I love my stoneware, and if you follow me, you'll know I love my stoneware. But it's this big brown stoneware piece and big jug, and it was made into a lamp, and that was in British Bay Antiques. And we went into the back, and they had so many different lampshades, and we were trying different ones on, and that's now pride of place in my hall. And I actually, when I walk by it, I smile. I just
Yeah.
absolutely love it. So I think a piece that makes you smile
Yes.
is the one. And then another one that I found in Rummage in Roscommon, it was on the wish list, was to find a big old trunk to put at the end of the bed. You could just throw in those extra cushions that we don't need, but we do have them out, and little throws and things. So I was delighted to find.
And that's fabulous Rummage. I haven't been there for a good little while, but I went there with a lady called Michelle, and I'm trying to think of her handle on Instagram. She's a lovely lady crafting. She does all she sews all little dolls, and she was the lady that made the witch for Halloween the year before last, and somebody ran off with her witch, and there
I
was a
love
big
your
campaign on
yes,
Instagram.
and
Yeah, you
then as well.
so I
Yeah,
visited. I had a client and I went and visited Michelle, and she took me to Rummage. So Rummage is a great one,
Rummage is
and
great.
that's totally unexpected because, as you say, that's in Roscommon, and
Yeah,
I had never even heard of it. So it is those places that you haven't heard of before
yeah.
that you are taking people to, that we're all suddenly going, oh my god, I didn't know this place existed. This is, my list is now getting very long.
Yeah, yeah. And the list, I think even that I sat down one evening to write down places I've been to, and then places I want to go to, and places I've been recommended. And I couldn't get over. I thought, oh, probably, there's only a couple of places left. On to page two, I'm writing down places. It's just,
Yeah. And presumably people are getting in touch with you now
yeah,
saying they've heard about you, they've found you on Instagram because your account obviously has grown and grown and grown as the word has spread.
yeah,
So you're getting people getting in touch with you saying, well, look, we'd love you if you would come
yeah.
to us.
Yeah, yeah, and I love that because it could be somewhere that I don't know of or I do follow and genuinely love, and when they reach out, then I'm like, yes, when can you go? Let's go this weekend. And I'm ready, kind of.
And these small little independent businesses are the lifeblood of a lot of these communities and lots of towns and villages, etc. And we are losing more and more of them because everything is online and generic now. And I think there needs to be a tide shift, and I think people like yourself are part of that tide shift where we say no, we still need shops and places to go in our community that
You don't want to walk down your local street and it's just all closed, and
yeah.
you're going, what happened? And I think, yeah, part of that was, growing up, obviously, with my parents having their own independent businesses. It was always like, oh, this is the bread and butter. You have to support local, and they're supporting the J teams, and they're supporting the committees for the lights or the tidy towns or all these things. So it's just nice to be able to go in and show what's there and say, like, they're here, and they are fantastic, and there's wonderful people running them, and they're local to the area. And I always say when I go into places like that, every person I've met has just been so true, beautiful and wonderful, and they speak so highly of other shops. They're like, oh, are you looking for this? Like, I always said I must do it overheard in the antique or vintage shops of just, I'm doing my own thing, and I can overhear customers come in, and they ask, oh, have you got this? And they'll say, I don't, but X and Y do. Actually, they have great stuff. And who did a fabulous job? They're after redoing this area. You should make a visit there. And there's just a community of, let's all support each other. And
Yeah.
help each other through it.
And have you been to, because I'm in Bray, have you been to Florence Antiques in Bray?
No.
Oh, you have to come.
I'm like writing
Dave,
that down now.
okay, so this is in Bray, Florence Antiques, and Dave is such a character. But like that, he sources so much. My beautiful vintage chandelier from my office came from Dave. He's such a character. He's so gas. But I mean, like that, you just never know what you'll see. Sometimes it's extremely traditional, and then other times he'll have something,
Yeah.
kind of quirky
Yeah.
and kind of unexpected. And he did a massive dig out for me and lent me some mirrors for a TV show I was doing. And I think that's the thing. You meet so many interesting.
Oh,
The community of dealers is so interesting.
it's so interesting, and everyone is so in love with what they do. And
Yes,
you have
it's such
that
a passion.
work. So whether it is you go down to Treasure Trove in Castlebridge and they're restoring, or you have Louise up in LF Donoghue Antiques in Salins, and she has a woman shed, as she calls it. And I got to go in, and you just see all these pieces that have been restored or in the middle of being restored, pieces she
Amazing.
is restoring. And to just even see women jumping in and really getting involved in that, it's just fantastic. There's just
I really miss, because when I first started out painting furniture, we used to do the Dublin Brocante, and I really miss that,
we
because
need
that was fantastic, and there was lots of incredible dealers back then. I'm, Jeff Kirk Modern. There was, oh my gosh, there was loads. Paul. Um, I always just used to call him Retro Paul. I think I can't even. Was it Retro Rummage? Was that his handle? We've still a few pieces that we got from him over the years. So, I think there's kind of markets in town, and you can get everything from cake to a cuddly knitted
yeah,
teddy, as we were talking about.
yeah.
But I miss the days where there was a dedicated, you know, vintage and antiques interiors
Mm.
market.
Yeah, and I've never experienced that in Dublin. So I think because there's such a mind shift that maybe there will be a call.
Yeah,
Or
if they can find the right location for it, because obviously that was back in the old. Oh my gosh, that was back at the. Oh, they developed that, didn't they? It's where the old flea used to be. The old the once a month Sunday flea market that was in oh, I can't think of the name. I'm so rubbish with names. I wish I was better with names, but I really haven't. And then they moved it to, they used to do a Christmas one in block T, was it? Wherever that was. Anyway, look, it's a long time ago, and I know they never really found anywhere. But there's talk, I think, of the Ivy Gardens having something, isn't there? Is it the Ivy Market or whatever it is, the market building? I think they are looking at trying to get something in. So fingers crossed, hopefully they do.
that'd be fantastic. There's a want for it. People do want to kind of shop more sustainably and support independently. And I do think, yeah, I've said it already, but there is that want for people to just have their home as their home, and we don't need to have all of us have the same pieces, that we're individuals, and what you love, someone else will be like, no, I prefer this. And it's just, there's a want to just make it you and be individual and not just a copy of everyone's house is the same.
Exactly. And look, I'm actually just seeing, so lovely Frida. Hi, Frida. Um, I know Frida through Instagram. So Frida's saying there is actually still a Sunday flea in Phibsborough with some of those dealers. So where is that, Frida? Put that quickly now so we can all, because
Yeah,
Aoife and I are going, oh, and see you Sunday.
yeah, definitely.
Because that's, yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing. A lot of the small independents, owning a shop is not affordable to them. It's just not an option, so it gets harder and harder to make ends kind of meet. So I think these markets are a lifeline to the small independents.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely. It just gives them somewhere, I suppose, like that, when everything else is so expensive, to have a shop front. It could give someone the ability to, or to maybe start up or go back again, or make that move.
Okay, great, there we go. Behind McGough's, is that how you say that?
Offs, yeah.
Perfect. So there we go. We've ticked a box there. So we're now going. I don't know what day of the month that is, but I don't know which Sunday in the month it is, but I'm sure I'm
Yeah, I'll
sure
be watching this
we'll
back.
all be descending on it.
I grabbed my pen to make a list, but I actually haven't I didn't write anything down, but I will watch back now and be like, yep. adhere.
Yeah. I haven't been to that one. Oh yeah. And I'm seeing so many names of places and I'm going, Strafford-on-Tees, I don't know if I know that one. And this is the thing. So we'll all be able to get some from the list here. But I mean, there's some, obviously lots of people that would be from anyone who hasn't followed your page and has just joined Design Source here and doesn't know where to find you. Tell us where we are finding you.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram. It's Potter and Byrne Home. So Potter like Harry Potter, Potter and Byrne Home. That's my handle, and you can find me there. And it's every Wednesday. I pop up a new shop and kind of highlight that, have it then, and I show it around, and then I share loads more on my stories. And if you're new and you haven't seen what it is that we're talking about, I do have it all saved in highlights by county, so you can kind of, and then even off, or it's by the Sunday markets. It could be secondhand. So I'm got them all, like you have to go down through them, of course, but they are all there where you can pop back in and check different places.
Okay, so if you're exactly. So if you're in Wexford, you'll see all the ones that you've visited in Wexford that you may or may not have heard of.
Yeah,
that's a really great way of kind of organizing it. And I mean, your videos are so lovely and easy to follow, and I love the way that I can see you, but then I can see what you're seeing, and you're picking up really cool things, and this is what I found. And you really do get a really good sense of the place that you have visited with the way that you're editing it together. So honestly, I think what you're doing is just, and judging by all the wonderful comments that we've had on this, I think everybody's in the same boat. Everybody is lapping this up and just loving what you're doing.
Well, I'm so glad, because you never know, do you? Like, sometimes am I showing enough? And then you go into a shop and sure, look, you're recording, and you could have 33 minutes or 40 minutes or 20 minutes of clips, and you're like, how do I make this into a 1 minute clip that people can digest but really get the feel of the place? So I find that's kind of probably the longest part. If you take away the traveling and the actual being in the shop, I think that's the longest part of kind of going, how do I show it all? But like, there's a time limit to how much you can show as well. So I do throw a lot up in my stories then as well.
But I think 1 minute is about right, because you're giving people a snapshot, you're enticing people in, you're giving them enough that they want to go and explore it for themselves. Because if you show everything, why would you need to go? So I think it's right, you're giving enough of a teaser that I'm going to go, oh, I want to know more, I want to go and see what is happening there. So
there are times when I kind of go, no, I don't want to just show that part. That could be a nice little surprise. Like that could be lovely for someone to step in and go, oh my God, and then there's in here. That it doesn't have to, like that. You don't have to see it all as true. So it's just a balancing act of,
Yeah.
And then what we love, other people love, and not just showing everything that I want to bring home with me, showing there are other things in that are available, so it's I really enjoy it. I just genuinely love it.
And I think, as you say, it's a tapping into something where, I think the tide swell is happening where, considered homes, we're all craving something a little bit more authentic rather than just, something we've lifted out of an interiors magazine.
Yes, definitely there is. It's just like it's you, it's your home, it's lived in, it's comfortable. And I always think if I bought something brand new, I'd be so precious with it. But when I bought something that's lived a life, has some history, has some character, showing that character, I'm not afraid to add a bit more to it, so I find those pieces last one, and I have no problem. Like, I'd never second guess, can I put this lovely piece of pottery by the cooker and throw all my utensils into it? And I'm not afraid, because I'm like, yeah, it's okay, oil's going to splash in that, it's going to get, and I'm not going to be afraid it's going to crack, it's going to break, anything's going to happen. I'm like, you can get used for another 100 years and I'm not going to worry about you.
Yeah. And I think that's it. And is that when you've got when you're thinking about how you put a home together, it feels so unexpected if you've got sorry, that was my daughter trying to really when you've got a really cool modern dining table and this really, really cool modern lamp, but then over the fireplace could be this really amazing, vintage painting, oil painting,
Yeah. And having, you know, a wall of, like, I have a wall of plates, but I do have a new plate up there. Do you
Yeah,
know, so it's like there's secondhand vintage plates, and then I threw up a new plate as well. So it's okay to have it all. I don't. There's no such thing as perfect. You can't just be 100% of one or the other. Like, it's
yeah,
okay altogether, and I think you don't have to feel like, oh, if I jump on board this, I have to stay on this train. Like,
exactly,
it all
exactly.
stops, and I like this though. And if I really like it and that makes me smile and that piece is new, that's okay as well. You know, I don't have to feel,
Totally,
yeah,
totally,
yeah.
totally. Aoife, look, it's been as much of a pleasure as I knew it was going to be. And thank you so much for agreeing to chat with us this evening, and obviously sharing all of your tips and tricks, and you know, your stories. And you know, we're hatching that plan for some antique tourism.
Oh, you'll get a message from me now after this, 100%.
Yeah. Well, listen, thank you so much. And thank you to
Thank you.
everybody for joining and all the
Yeah,
lovely comments, because there was some amazing comments. We're so appreciative to everybody. So thank you so much,
yeah.
and have a lovely evening, everybody.
Yes, and thank you so much.